Hi, gold and silver stackers. To date, I've been randomly just showing you different items that I either have or that I have recently purchased. Today I'm going to be a little bit more deliberate, and I am going to try to be more educational in the future. This series is going to take us through the year, and it's going to be me just sharing with you my 2026 stack update. So I'll make sure that in the title it says stack update if it's not something that interests you. Every stacker should be able to clearly identify why they stack precious metals. People stack gold and silver metals for a variety of reasons. Some of my research identified these reasons: protecting purchasing power against inflation, hedging against currency debasement, financial insurance during economic uncertainty, long-term savings outside of the banking system, portfolio diversification, owning tangible assets with no counterparty risk, and building generational wealth and essentially legacy assets. Once you know your reasons, the next step is to set a realistic, measurable goal. It's not that complicated. I do believe that if I haven't talked about it in a previous video, I'll talk about it in a future one, but I do believe that you should set a certain percentage of your net worth aside. And some of the other things you should consider is what can you consistently afford, not what you hope to afford. I really believe that our hobby should not create debt or financial stress. I also think that, for me at least, gold is a long-term wealth storage and it provides portability. Silver is higher volume, it's flexible, and I do believe has more potential upside. It certainly did in the last year. As the gold and silver ratio reduces, it has, I believe, a little bit less upside, but I still believe we have 20 to 30% gains to look forward to in 2020. So anyhow, I reverse engineered what I thought I could handle, and that's looking at 5 ounces of gold. So every 2.5 months, I'm going to try to add an ounce of gold. It'll probably be fractional in nature. And then I'm looking at adding around 20 ounces per month of silver. So for me, it's achievable, trackable, sustainable. So let me show you today's pickups. So if I didn't mention, it's January 1st, and I couldn't find an actual coin shop that was open in my area, but I did find a comic book store that does sell. They don't make an effort to. They really just are a location to exchange gold and silver. So essentially, they're not buying new product, but people bring in stuff, and they're making money on the split, just like a LCS would. But they have really, really tight deals. I mean, I don't know what their buybacks are, but they had brilliant uncirculated American Super Eagles at $2 over spot. They had kangaroos, Canadian maples, Britannias, all for $1 over spot. They also had 1, 5, and 10 ounce bars, all for $1 over spot. They did have, interestingly enough, Mexican sterling coinage, I want to say the 1979, 1980 coinage with the press on it. Those were $2 over spot. And they had Morgans. They actually had several AU Morgan dollars that had really good eye appeal that were $55 to $58 each. And that was interesting because a Morgan dollar has 0.77 troy ounces of silver, and at $71.60, which is what spot is today, the melt value is around $55. So being able to buy Morgans at melt that aren't call, I thought was a good deal. So I found a complete 2020 Britannia capsule, 25 coins. However, because there was a 10-ounce silver bar that I wanted to purchase, I had to only buy 16 of the Britannias. And these are pretty nice. An individual came in after me while the silver was being shown to me. And unfortunately, while I was tied up looking for Libertads, as you guys know, I enjoy the Mexican coinage, someone walked in and asked about American Super Eagles, and then proceeded to buy all the American Super Eagles that the shop had. So I admit I probably would have paid the $2 over spot for the American Super. In fact, I know I would have. I would have done that. I don't like kangaroos, so I did not buy Australian kangaroos. I looked at the Canadian maple leafs they had. They had 2008, and those are the ones that are more prone to milk spotting. They look nice, but I went for the Britannia. If I can't get American Sea Eagles and I can't find Libertads at a reasonable price, then I think the Britannias are just amazing. I feel bad for a lot of the Brits watching that get taxed heavily on their own coinage because it's gorgeous. So I got 16 of those at $1 over spot. And I'll show you the Morgans that I got. I thought these were very reasonable. This one has some patina. This one, if it wasn't for, it's got some harsh, little bit of gouging. But honestly, when I look at this coin, this looks uncirculated to me. It has a little bit of the haze from probably just handling. But I mean, those two are 55. Now, this 1901 must be a little bit more of a collectible, or perhaps the coin shop decided to make it 58 simply because they thought it looked a little nicer. But honestly, I'm buying this just as bullion. And frankly, I believe the pricing on here is probably from when silver was at 40. The last thing I wanted to show you, which I'm actually pretty excited. I don't believe, people can tell me in the comments, maybe I should do more research. I'm not really collecting old silver or collectible silver, but I have made an effort to buy 10-ounce bars, and I'm not doing it because of lower premiums. Hopefully in the foreground, in past videos I've shown you some of my 10-ounce bars, and not all of them, but and I put some out here just to kind of show you some of them and to make the display a little nicer, or my background a little bit nicer. But I just think it's fun to collect different bars, and so this Johnson Matthey is a 1, 2, 3, 4. I think they call this a 3-bar because some of them have where they have all 6 bars. So some people have figured out how to date these. Obviously, there's a serial, or it is numbered. I was excited to get it just because I like to add some 10-ounce to my stack. I think it's interesting. When silver was at 30, I felt, or 30, even 40, I felt like the 10-ounce was the perfect size. If you ever needed to go and just needed some cash, this would be the perfect size to cash in and get a decent amount of money. Now a 10-ounce is $700, and this was $720. So I don't know, it's kind of interesting. I don't know how I feel about, I still want to collect 10-ounce, but it's kind of like my 100-ounce bar. I mean, there's no doubt there's a point where it's just going to be harder to get rid of a 100-ounce bar when you're looking at a bar that last week was $8,000. This week it's a $7,200 bar, but when I purchased it, it was a $2,200 bar. Are 5-ounce bars kind of the new category? Is that kind of the new bar for people trying to get in and trying to maybe avoid premiums with the 1-ounce coinage, and they're trying to reduce their premiums, but they can't afford the 10-ounce? I don't know. I mean, given all of my local coin shops and even online, all of you can attest to American Sea Eagles are selling for 10-ounce 10% over spot right now. And so for me to be able to pick up coinage for $1, sovereign, brilliant uncirculated coinage for $1 over spot, this was a no-brainer for me. I actually considered why do I even want the 10 ounce? But for the portability aspect of it and the fact that this is a more significant amount of money if I did need to sell, I felt like this was a very good deal. So I'm very happy with that. So there you have my first pickup of the new year, 2026. A little over 28 ounces of silver, 0 ounces of gold. Therefore, I still need 222 ounces of silver and 5 ounces of gold for my goal. I'll make sure that I title these Update to 2026 Silver and Gold Stack. So if you want to see more of this particular video, you know just to click on those titles. Please like and subscribe. If there's any content you want to see more of or hear more opinions about, please comment. Thank you for watching.